Welcome back to Talkin Verzuz. This week we're gonna do a little something different. Tony Tone is out for this one, so this week I'm gonna phone a friend and we're gonna have a great conversation. We're gonna do this on the Stereo app, so if you guys are interested in joining the conversation, download the Stereo app and you can leave comments, voicemails live, and we can play them back and forth. It's really awesome. So this week, my good friend Lisa joined me and we talk about the Isley brothers versus Earth, Wind, and Fire. A fire versus, and we have a great conversation. So y'all stay tuned. Let's make it happen.
Hello.
What up, buddy?
How are you?
I'm doing well. We are live. We are live on our show right now.
Awesome.
This
Thank
is
you for
gonna
having
be,
me.
of course, this is gonna be a versus talking after show, and we're just gonna talk about what we watch. And then hopefully, people who want to join in can drop in live messages and comments by voice, and we can listen to them.
Oh, very fun. Yes, I'm new to this,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, it's a new thing, so I'm trying it out. I think it's really cool. So like, man, that was amazing. That was amazing.
I feel like we just definitely witnessed history. And I'm grateful that, especially on Easter, we got to enjoy such an amazing collaboration.
Right,
That
like what
was,
an Easter treat.
yes, perfect end to Easter.
It was crazy because I was like, man, anybody who's not watching this, you were just missing out on something that's just remarkable. Remarkable.
I know. I mean, I'm stunned. They pulled off a really amazing set, and I'm glad they got D Nice up there because, he really got us through this this whole pandemic. So,
Yeah, you did. I mean, their outfits were killer. I mean, they started off killer. I mean, I don't even know where to start. I mean, the let's start with the outfits. The first round of
oh,
outfits, Steve
first
Harvey's fit.
round.
I would wear that. I would wear that all day, all night. That first fit was clean.
I
It
believe
was
it. He's
clean.
always been about his suits, though. I mean, even from, when he had his show, the Steve Harvey
Steve
show,
Harvey's show, yeah.
he had the suits, when he was trying to get Regina.
Oh, that was such a good show, and it's funny that he brought back when the funk hits the fan. Oh,
I
I
mean,
remember
that's a
that band.
classic.
It was so
Mm-mm.
cool, and Ron. I mean, Ron Isley's always gonna wear a couple thousand different suits. Like we were texting when I saw him in concert, he had to put on three suits, maybe four suits, and he had coats, the whole 9 yards. I mean, but he was looking crazy good today. I was like, them fucking suits are. I mean, just I don't even have words for it.
Oh, I mean, he's like Patti LaBelle with her shoes. She's be switching
Right,
shoes out her trunk.
right.
Sometimes she's barefoot, sometimes she's got on her glittery heels. You just never know what you're gonna get. It's the same thing.
You never know. I was shocked of how well produced this was, differently than the other verses. I mean, Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knights was pretty well produced, but since Triller bought verses, I mean, it seemed like a bigger production. It was cameras were great, angles were great.
Yeah, I mean, they did a fantastic job of, the set. It just seemed it started on time, um, which was a miracle. No, but it
Right?
was definitely well done. They were moving and grooving. They were showing us all different parts. And then when, Ernie got a chance to really go on the guitar, I mean, we got to get up close and personal.
See, this is
It
the
was,
thing. This is the thing. I've seen Ernie do that, in concert, and I always told people, man, he will like totally play behind his back, play with his tongue, that whole deal. And it's cool that he did it so everybody can see like what a crazy guitarist he really is.
yeah, and he did it live. It's not anything edited. He couldn't do it over if he messed up. He just went for it.
I mean, he went all the way for it, and it's kind of funny because you can see Steve in the back, and he said, "That boy good." I could just see him. I mean, so the the
Oh,
music choices, crazy.
they have this many hits, but then I'm sitting here and I'm going, wow, I forgot they had this many hits.
Well,
you
there
know.
was a few songs like the Earth, Wind and Fire. We played that a lot in my house growing up. So I'm like every song was like nostalgia for me. But you're right, they got so many songs. I was like, what are they gonna play? There was a whole album that I wanted them to play that they didn't even play. I was like, man, they
They
just
couldn't
got too
get to
much
it.
music. They couldn't get to it. And then Ron, I mean, he's got so much shit that I just kept forgetting some of these songs. And I was like, damn, these are killer songs.
Oh yeah, I am grateful they did let him do, Busted and Contagious. Yeah, I
Me
know some people were a
too.
little hesitant, and even in the comments it got a little squirrely, but I was like, listen, the Mr. Biggs with
He
Kel,
had
that was
to.
iconic. I mean,
He had to.
that's a whole persona he developed. Yes, it was with
Yeah.
R. Kelly, but I mean, come on. You don't play
I
that, that's a
completely
huge
agree.
chunk. Yeah, that's
I
a big
really I
portion.
Yeah, because I was thinking as they were going into it, I was like, I wonder if they're gonna play any of those songs because I figured he was gonna start playing newer stuff towards our
Hmm.
generation, and I was like, I wonder if he's gonna play it. And then he started playing, and I was like, okay, cool. Because I mean, people got their thing with R. Kelly, but you can not like the man and still love his music. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
I I I love those songs. I love the music he's done. I would want a verses with his music, just him not there. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel that. I feel that. The music, how it's something that got us through what all of those cookouts and family reunions, and every 4th of July, and you hanging out at grandma's house, and you're going to your uncle's house and cooking on the grill. You gotta have, you know, these songs
you
show
gotta
up,
have it.
and you just do.
It's proper. It's the proper way to do this. I mean, it. All the songs did remind me of just. Steve made a good comment. He said it's like being at your house on Saturday morning, and I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what it's like. It's like these are all the songs my mom would be playing while we would be cleaning the house or doing something or driving in the car or whatever have you. This is music I listened to my whole life. I loved it.
Yeah, I was ready to put my skates on. I was like, man, and it's Sunday too, and Sunday's skate night.
You
So I was like,
know,
I really want to throw my skates on. I'm ready to groove.
I mean, maybe it's because of the nostalgic factor, that was there, but for me, this is easily one of the best verses I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
Ever.
this, and I adored Patty and Gladys though. Like
That was a fantastic one.
I absolutely adore that. These two are my favorite. These two are definitely my favorite.
It's those legendary ones where it's just like, man, we've got to get more of this.
Yeah, and then you realize, was it Marvin has gone? And you're like, wow,
Yeah,
they're getting older. I didn't realize Mr. Biggs was 79. I'm sitting there going,
right. And
he
he
don't
looking
look
good.
79. Yeah, I go, okay, all right,
You looking 60s player. You looking good.
I know I'm all well. Keep on keeping on with whatever you're doing because it's working.
Well, one thing I know they got to do the OJs since while we still got them, we could do the
Mm.
OJs, and you got to get Gap Band and Charlie Wilson in there
Oh,
because Charlie gonna
please,
bring down the
Charlie,
house. You
Tyson
know Charlie will
Wilson.
bring down the house, and then he got so many albums on his own that you could just do a whole night of that. That would be a real crazy one. I was thinking that at the end song, I was like, man, I want to see Charlie. Charlie would be up there doing it right now.
I do love the Gap Band. I mean,
I love Gap Band.
the minute that bass drops on Burn Rubber on Me, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Hmm. And as soon as I hear the drums drop on Outstanding, it's over. It's
Oh,
over. It's
you
oh
know,
I'm in a mood. It's automatic.
I got to see him live, and he did all of those, and it was absolutely fantastic.
He's one that I've never seen live, and I would die to see that one live. I was
I
on
was really
IG.
lucky.
I was on IG tweeting at Howard Hewitt, like, "Hey man, we need you to do a versus. You still out here? I need a Shalimar versus.
Yes, we need all the verses.
We need those special ones where it's like, man, these people are older. We really need to get these classics in. I know your parents are probably watching it. My mom's at home watching it. My friends are like, it's just one of them things where you're like, man, we gotta get more of this action.
Yeah, and they're getting older, and
Yep.
you know, we just don't know. We don't
You
know.
just don't know. You just don't know. So it's like we got to get them. We got to get these shows. The next
I
one that
mean,
I'm very excited for is SWV and Escape.
oh,
That's gonna be
oh yeah.
that's gonna be a banger. That's gonna be a banger.
You know what song like I'm waiting for?
Mine is
You,
weak.
oh, they hit me with the human nature. It's over. I'm ready.
Oh yeah, I could. Oh, Human Nature's my joint. But see, they if they do weak and then Escape does Just Kick It, I'll die.
You know they
I'll
will.
die. I know they
You know they
will. That
will.
day, I'm gonna be in my living room acting a fool like I was today, just running around, singing at the top of my lungs. My neighbors is probably wondering what the hell is going on because I never make this much noise. It's verses, y'all.
I know my family's like, you okay? Contagious came on. My dog looked at me like I was crazy.
Well, man, when they have moments where Ron started singing with them, or they was really getting into it, I was like, oh, here we go, here we go. I
I
was
know.
having a ball.
It was amazing watching them all know each other's songs and just singing and background singing for each other. And I was like, yes, this is
It,
this is what
they
it's about.
this is what it's about. And they genuinely looked like they were having a good time. They genuinely looked like they were happy to be there and to celebrate the music. And this is going to do great for their record sales again. So,
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, I'm excited for them. I ain't even in Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I'm excited for them.
I know. I'm all. Uh, what was it? Steve was talking about how they had sampled the Isley Brothers song,
Hmm.
and they didn't get paid, and then they got paid. They made sure they went and got paid.
Oh yeah, they did, and it's kind of funny that you told that story. He's like, "Hey, that's our song." Like, "Hey, you ain't supposed to be singing that."
Like,
And what's
excuse
kind of
me?
funny is I want to know who did it. I want to know what group it was
I,
because I can't think of what group that was or what Super Bowl, but I wonder what it was.
yeah, that's somebody's gonna. The internet's undefeated, so somebody's gonna
Yeah,
figure it
somebody will
out.
pop it up. Somebody will pop it up. They'll tell us. The
Speaking
internet
of,
states. Go ahead.
oh, completely undefeated. No, just speaking of it, undefeated internet, they were poor Tyrese.
Was they getting Tyrese?
Yeah, poor Tyrese. They he got himself trending again. I think he goes on verses for his own therapy sessions. I'm starting to think
He
that's what's
must.
happening.
What's going on with Tyrese this time?
Oh goodness, you didn't see.
No,
Yeah,
I wasn't
no.
paying attention.
This man posted and said that he remembers, growing up and his mom well, this is in the comments, obviously, but he posted saying that he
Hmm.
remembers growing up and his mom would be drunk in the living room, but she brought him up on really good music, and everyone was like, "What, sir?
Wow.
You okay?"
Don't move putting your mama out there.
I
Let's
know, I
see.
know. We just why?
Tyrese. Oh
Why,
no.
Tyrese? we what
Oh,
happened?
here it is. Here it is. I hate that my mother used to drink every day, but she's the reason I know real music. Come
he
on,
just
Tyrese.
he
He's
just
trending at number 16. Number
he was
16.
higher. He was higher. It was
Oh
during the verses
no.
when it first happened. That was a couple hours ago. He did
R.
this.
Kelly's trending he's trending too. He's trending at 14.
Yeah, with Mr. Biggs doing contagious.
Oh, ain't this a bitch? Somebody said Ha ha ha. Somebody said the only verses R. Kelly is doing is R. Kelly versus State of Illinois.
I
That's
saw that. I was like, oh, that's so wrong. That's
ooh,
dirty.
y'all
That's
wrong for
dirty.
that. Y'all wrong for that.
Sometimes the
Oh
internet just
no.
foul.
The internet's not letting that. See, I knew that this was gonna happen. It just says contagious, the Isley brothers, and then it says R. Kelly's part, and it shows Oprah from the Megan interview. Oh, that's terrible. They eating
They
these
just,
motherfuckers up right now.
you can't
He
win.
said, he said, see, this is me and you. Some girl who's Tony. I don't think this is real Tony, but she took the name. Uh,
Mm.
it says, I know we canceled R. Kelly, but I want to hear Contagious just a little bit. I'm like, I'm with you. I want to hear it.
I want to hear all of them. Down low, contagious. you
Yeah, I wanted
know.
to hear him in a row.
Me too. I was ready for what's his other one with Kelly Price.
Yes.
and
There's so many, man. There's so
then they did
many.
Showdown.
They did. I mean,
You
I can't
know,
believe it. Mr. Biggs is trending at number 4.
Mr. Biggs.
Mr. Biggs is trending at number 4. Oh
I,
man. They said viewers react to Ronald Isley, also known as Mr. Biggs, as the Isley brothers take on Earth, Wind, and Fire in versus battle on Easter Sunday. And then it got him with his coat on, smiling and shit. You know the internet never gonna let that picture go.
no, no, never. And
They
the
already
people in the
got gifs of him
comments.
dancing.
Because his dances are they've been the same since I've been alive.
Oh
you
no,
know,
this is hilarious. Oh, this
the
is so
internet's
good. I mean,
undefeated.
the internet is undefeated. I mean, Versus is trending at number 1, and Steve Harvey's trending at number 2 right now.
Now I know you had your your beef with Steve Harvey along with a lot of the internet, but I fully
Well,
expected him to be a chatty Cathy. I didn't expect anything different because I was like, it's
me
Steve.
neither. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I like Steve Harvey, and to be honest, I would be Steve if I was in that situation. But
Oh
I
yeah.
was in the. It was just in the very, very beginning. I was like, Steve, this a long ass introduction to be talking about yourself and what you've been doing. Could we just like get? Could we get to the music? Could we do that, please? Like it was,
Can
but it was
we?
good.
What up, y'all? Let me tell you about another product I really like. This new thing I just found called Tappy. If you're an artist, if you're a business person, if you're anybody with anything that you want to share with people, maybe you're a designer, get this. It's a new business card. It's electronic, no paper, no thousands of cards in your pocket, just one. Anytime anybody asks, hey, what do you do, man? Pull it out, tap it on their phone, all the information's right there. Tappy. Go to our website at therealnessradiopodcast.com. Go all the way to the bottom and look at Tappy. Press get one, and you can order yours right now. Trust me, it's something you're interested in. Tappy.
Nah, yeah. Somebody must have said something because they came back from intermission. He was like, I don't care. Just like, all right.
He said all the young people talking about we talking too much. You know, old people like to talk. And I thought about my mom, and I was like, she probably sitting there going, and I was like, no, no. But it
It's
was
true
good. I
though.
mean, the only person that I would want to see do that position more who could not is Sinbad. He'd be the person that I'd want
Yeah.
to see do it. But we didn't
Wonder
really,
how he's
we wouldn't
doing.
really have. Me too, me too. And he would have been the perfect one to do these, to host the old school shows. Uh, but we couldn't get him this go around. But maybe next time.
I know,
Maybe next
hoping
time.
he's okay and DMX
Me
is
too.
okay, you know.
Yeah, I want to. I definitely got to speak on that one. Like, I hope that DMX is okay. It's crazy to hear about what he's going through. You know what I mean? Another battle with drugs and then having a heart attack. During that. That's crazy.
Yeah, and he's one of those people that, he's had some lifelong demons, but at the end of the day,
Yep.
people always still work with him because he's a good dude. He never was a malicious
Yep.
guy, never was a bad
No.
guy, didn't try to burn bridges. He had some personal demons he hasn't had a chance to get past, but we all want him to pull through so he can have
Right.
another chance. He's that guy you give chances to because deep down he's a good one, you know.
And he deserves them. He
He
deserves them. So
does.
we're hoping he pulls through.
He
Because yeah,
does.
he's never. Everyone in the industry is talking about it. Everyone's posting. Everyone's trying to spread as much love as they can, and awareness to DMX's situation. And hey, man, the internet will be here for him. We'll be here for him. So hopefully he'll pull through.
No, crossed fingers and really
Yeah.
hoping.
You know what I did
Oh
like that
man.
Steve did talk about that, and that Steve spoke about how the hip hop industry is influenced musical culture right now. I thought that was kind of cool from someone from the old school to acknowledge the new generation's style of music and contribution.
Yes, and I think a lot of it had to do with the lyrical composition that we have today going. It's not
Right.
exactly one of flattery and, demonstrating love and compassion. It's
Not
a
at all.
little bit more vulgar.
Like
um,
a scotch.
but, at the end of the day, it's just the time that's not, it goes, I think, hand in hand with the social media. It doesn't allow you to be vulnerable and stuff like that. And the music back then, it was vulnerability. They were professing their love, they're professing how they felt. It was a very love culture, in the lyrics
Right.
that they came up with. And
Right, right. Well, they were also, wooing. They were wooing the ladies, and you sung about innuendo instead of saying things outright. It was just a
yeah,
beautiful way to use poetry in your music. So it was cool that it was kind of a flashback to that, where the music, you knew what they were saying, but it was just said in such a way. And maybe
yeah,
artists were listening to that and remember, that's what we were all into. So maybe we'll
you
get back
know,
to that.
with the Isley Brothers, love between the sheets.
That's
Just
right.
real subtle.
That's right. That's right. Real subtle, and it was just a beautiful way to it was a beautiful language. It was love language. It was a beautiful love language. So tonight was just that. It was just from the start to the finish. I mean, the music was banging, the atmosphere was going. It was truly a vibe. I mean, even the musical interlude and the 10-minute break that we had, I was dying when he was playing Chaka. I was like, Lord.
Oh yeah. I wanted to go. I was like, oh cool, interlude. I can nope, couldn't get up to go anywhere because he was still keeping the party going. So
Oh no, he was keeping it going, and it just made me want to hear Chaka Khan in the verses. I was like, oh, we need Chaka. There's too many songs. We need
she's
Chaka. We
fantastic
need
live.
Stevie. We need Stevie.
Yeah, Shaka Khan's fantastic. And I've seen her and Evelyn Champagne King live, and I was like,
Oh,
wow.
for real?
Oh yeah, it was fan. And Evelyn can get down. Don't
Yes,
let
she
her age
can.
fool you. She was on stage, popping and locking and dipping and grooving, and I was like, okay, she moves better than me. This isn't okay.
Yo, Evelyn Champagne King was one of my favorites on the Sinbad Summer Jams in Aruba. Her sets
Oh
were like
man.
so good. Oh, you remember that? That's why I want Sinbad to
Yes.
do it because he's perfect for that. Like that's what he
Wait,
used to do.
you said in a room. I think my uncle has
Sim
that on cause what is it, VHS?
VHS. Oh, you know it.
Oh
Sinbad
yeah,
Summer
oh yeah.
Jams in Aruba. Oh, that motherfucker was
Oh
live
gosh,
back then. I love those. Those were
that was the
such
place to
a
be.
good concert. That was, but it was like that. These concerts was like it was like a throwback because the music had already changed. So it was kind of what they're doing now. Just Sinbad was doing it years ago. He would have been the perfect host to come back because he got so many stories with all these artists. So maybe
Hmm.
maybe he could do like a Stevie versus Chaka or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We even got
Oh
Smokey.
man.
We still got Smokey.
We do. We do. Now, I got weirdness with Smokey because people always like, oh, Smokey was this, Smokey was that, and I'm like, his his look. I think it's because he's older now. His look is creepy to me. His music, fantastic. His look, he just gives me like a slick can of oil vibes.
As much as I love him, he does look like what a ventriloquist doll would look like for his songs.
Yes, yes.
You know
He
what I'm
is what
saying?
I expect Terrence Howard to look like in like 20, 30 years.
That's
Like that's
but
what I'm anticipating.
but imagine this: Temptations and Smokey Robinson. Now that's a
I'm here
crazy
for it all
versus
day.
because Temptations are still touring. I mean, there's only one original living member, but they're still there. And
I'll
I
take
have a
it.
picture on my phone with Otis and Smokey, so we can. I want to see this happen.
I'll
Put
take
it in
it.
the universe.
You know, you got to put it out there so it can come back to you.
We got to put it out there in the universe so we can get that one because that would be a crazy one.
Yeah, that one might cause the internet to have a meltdown.
I'm just saying this. I mean, this one already was such a
Yeah.
huge thing. I mean, I wonder what the numbers are going to be once they put them out. But this was such a big one. You know what I mean? And if there's young people that weren't watching it, them young people should have been setting their parents or grandparents up so they could have been watching it because this was a big one.
Oh yeah, I mean it's got it on a lot of the spots on Twitter, trending. So
I
that
mean,
right there
one through
shows you the
five, damn near.
influence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy the level of reach versus has right now. And then being on the platform with Triller, it's gonna boost whoever's doing the next ones, or it's gonna be crazy. There's one
Yeah.
that you gotta come back in town and you gotta come to the house for. And I think you know which one I'm talking about. It's the anniversary episode, and I want to see
Oh,
if it's just like the last one.
I wonder. I
Babyface Teddy
wonder.
Riley. I
I
wonder if
wonder.
Teddy gets his shit together
Ah.
this time.
He's not putting it on, so it would be okay. It'll be fine.
Well, and then the
He,
technology's got a little bit better this go around.
yeah, they got professionals helping him out this time. That
You
first
remember
round, oh,
you remember his face when Babyface grabbed the guitar and started singing solo. Teddy was like, "Ah, shit."
it was that whole thing was just wild and memorable, but also hilarious. It was just,
Oh, and then Teddy had to go and play. He played Deep, which I like that song, but that's a super deep cut, and the whole internet was like, "Deep? Why the fuck you play that song?"
like, come on.
Oh man, I'm ready for that rematch, and I'm curious to what they'll play on a rematch. Do they choose to go back to some of those hits and play them again, or do they go with a whole new track list of songs they get, excuse me, that they didn't play the first time?
I think they'd have to do both. I think they'd have to kind of merge like some of the stuff they didn't get to with some of the other stuff because, we still love the other stuff. It was just a hodgepodge of a mess.
It
You
was just
know.
it was a technical mess. But like I want to hear more of the Janet Jackson that Teddy
Mm.
did, more of the stuff with Mike did,
Oh, yes.
that Face did. I mean, just more of that, more of the music that they did. I mean, they were incredible producers. So I'm sure. I mean, he didn't even play a quarter of Blackstreet. So I mean,
I know.
we got some to go.
There's so many that they could do. Both of them have produced an incredible, catalog behind them.
Yeah,
It's
with incredible
unreal.
artists.
Yeah,
Did you watch the Babyface episode he did on I think it was like Mother's Day last year or something, where he did the whole Waiting to Exhale soundtrack?
I did because I know that movie inside and out. And that's probably one of my favorite movies and favorite soundtracks of all time.
It's got
So,
to be one of the best soundtracks of ever.
and I think it's all female, no, except for like
It's
his portion in it.
Yeah, it's a full female cast
Yeah.
produced by him and co-produced with Whitney Houston. And it was dope that episode because he just told the story of how he made these tracks. And remember, he called Tony Braxton, who's one of my favorites. That's a versus I really, really want to see is Tony Braxton versus somebody. Um, so it was a crazy night. I'd really like to see him do that again. I want to find that somewhere because that was just a good night of music of him telling how he made that album.
Oh yeah, and you learn so much about how each song ended up on there. You
Yes,
know,
yes, that's what was so cool.
and your girl Shaka was on there with My Funny Valentine.
Yup, she was on
You
there,
know,
and it's funny him telling the story about giving Chaka that song, you know what I mean, and talking to her in the studio and how they went about it. And I mean, when you listen to the song by song, it's one of your favorite albums, but sometimes you forget that it has such bangers on it. It has, I mean, song after song after song was hits from all of those artists.
oh yeah, and some like even Brandy, she was so young at that point, and she's on the soundtrack, and it's perfect. All of them fit
Was
perfectly to the
was
movie.
was that how you ever
I think it's sitting up in my room.
was sitting up in my room on that one?
Yeah,
See, I
that's
mean, it just had so many people on that shit that it was, I mean, everybody who was anybody at the time needed to be on that, at least a female singer. And we had such prolific female R&B vocalists at the time that that's just a crazy moment in history.
and I mean Whitney opening and closing the album.
I mean,
How
Whitney
do you do
saying,
better?
"How do you?" And Whitney said she wasn't going to even be on the album. She said she wasn't going to
Okay.
do no songs on the album, and she ended up doing two.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
would have been the biggest mistake.
the biggest mistake because those two
Hey, you have
songs were
Whitney.
huge. Yeah, but we know Whitney wasn't going to really not do those two songs. She was going to do them two songs. But I
And I think
mean,
she has Why Does It Hurt So Bad on there too. She might have three that I think now that
yeah,
I'm thinking about it. Because she has Exhale,
hmm,
and then she has To Count on Me, because those two
yeah.
open and close. And then somewhere on there, I think is Why Does It Hurt So Bad.
I mean, in Whitney in her prime now, that's a versus the Earth deserves that we'll never
Mmm.
get. That
Oh,
is that is one we'll never get, but we
there's so
deserve.
many.
I mean, there's so many. I'd really like to see Janet because there was that middle time when Janet got like a little older, a little out of the 80s, and she was doing such sexy music in the late
Was it
80s.
the Red
Red
Velvet? Oh.
Red Velvet Tour. Oh,
Hmm.
oh, that one. My favorite is Anytime Anywhere. That's my like that. I want to see and hear about how she created that point in her life because her music, I go back and listen to it now and go, oh man, I forgot that she was this like sexy and this good in her music. I didn't pay attention, I guess. I mean, I knew the songs, but I was too busy listening to Escape or SWV or something.
I think we just grew up, in so much, especially, when she was putting out music, Michael was putting out music, and Michael was just Michael. So if
Yep,
a Jackson was in the news, you
yep.
know, I I kind of you almost feel bad for her because not that she didn't do fantastic on her own right, but I mean your brother's Michael Jackson. What do you do?
Right, right.
That's kind of like
That's hard
there's
to be
other
in it
people.
to be an entire musical family and to be like, yeah, my brother's Michael Jackson. Like, and like I
Yeah,
do music too.
she's fantastic. She's absolutely amazing. And
She's
then it's like, but my brother's Michael Jackson.
Yeah. So
you
there's
know?
always there's always a shadow casted for that one.
It'd be like a
But
prince had a sister.
exactly. And she's like, I also play the piano. And they're like, oh, do you?
Yeah.
Cool,
They're
cool.
like,
Can we
cool,
talk to
cool,
your brother?
cool. So how's your
Like,
brother doing? Has he changed his name back to an actual name or is he still a symbol?
can can we say it again, or is it something that we're not saying? We don't know. We're here in 1997. We're not sure. I mean,
Questions.
the other one that I really thought of when they were in the musical interlude, that I was like, the world deserves but will never get is Tina Marie.
Mm.
Tina Marie. I'm talking
Yeah.
square biz to you, baby. Square, square
Square,
biz.
square biz.
I
Get
mean,
a little.
I mean, that's an artist. I mean, that's a white girl who was just born a sister on the inside, and she
Oh
was just
yeah.
in it to win it, and her music showed suit.
Yeah, and the minute she says everybody get up, I'm like, okay. Every
You ain't
time
got to
I'm
say
like,
nothing else,
yeah, I'm like, okay, okay,
you
I
know.
will.
And the one that we deserve, we can still get right now. And I don't even know who she could versus because there's no one to verse, but one we deserve is Sade.
Again, that's one of those. Oh man, who do you put her with? I mean, what, Roberta Flack? Like, I can't
Yeah,
think of who
there's
to put
nobody
her
in her
with.
there's nobody in her genre. There's nobody who like sings like her to even say like this is a compare, you know what I mean, or even play that game with. There's nobody who's like sounds like Sade. You know what I mean? Just the warmness of her voice. My love is mine. You know what I mean?
Oh, I
I
love
mean,
love the music, but how?
it's cool. How
Yeah,
is the question? You're right. How is the question? How do you even? How do you? Is there any? I can't even think of a person musically that like does her style of like indie but R&B, soul,
sultry.
sultry, like worldly. It almost feels like worldly music. Just it's not like just Americanized. It's just like who's an artist that could even just put her up there on verses by herself? You know what I mean?
I know.
Sade
I
versus the
can't
world.
think of it. Literally.
Because it's just a night of mood music, and I can't like she's solely a mood artist, so I can't think of a person that would be like, man, Sade can go up against. It's like, no, dude, she would kill anybody because nobody sounds like her.
She's
Nobody.
the
I mean,
sitting in your room. Oh,
The
Anita
closest is
Baker.
Anita Baker. Closest
Mm.
would be to Anita Baker. That would be like that other sultry, deeper voice. I mean, you could do a Tony if you really wanted to. I mean, it's a little more of a stretch, but they are two more of a baritone female vocalist. But those are the only three sisters that had that like lower vocal range that you're like, who has enough music to go against her?
That's why I'm
Maybe
thinking
just
even
Anita
Roberta
Baker.
Flack. You know,
Roberta Flack.
she she's different though. I feel like you had to grow up with your mom
She's
playing that
different.
in the car.
Yeah, she's Roberta's different. Like I wonder, is Anita still with us? Is Anita Baker still with us?
Oh yeah, she's with us. She's not that old. She's
Okay,
not as
then
old as
shit. Then
she feels like. It
oh
feels like
yeah,
she
her
should be
music
80, but
feels
she's not.
okay. Then we need Anita Baker versus Sade. That'd be the best we could do. That would be
Yeah,
the closest of two of that style that are two mood music type women that are in the soul category but don't fit into the moment.
yeah. I'm trying to think. Oh man, that means Sade's got to be up there too. In her 60s
Yeah.
ish, 50s,
Yes.
60s. In
Yes,
my
and she
mind, she's
looks
always still
she
like 30.
but she looks the same. She does not look like
She
she's
does.
aged a bit.
That's
She's
that
got that true
unbothered.
Caribbean blood. You know what
Oh
I mean?
yeah.
Something in her. Cause she don't look no different. She feel like she just been kissed by the sun and sitting by an island breeze her whole existence. You
She
know?
definitely got some Caribbean, voodoo doll
Yes.
that she is trading. Got a picture of Dorian
Yes.
Gray-esque picture going where it gets older and she doesn't.
I'm just
You
saying, she's
know.
sucking the soul out of somebody. She's taking the life force from somebody. I mean, oh my God. Uh, but that's the only one that I could think of is like, okay, we do Anita Baker and you do Sade. I mean, Anita Baker's music's a little bit more before Sade, but it's the only thing that I can think of that's like, okay, that would be a night of just, I don't even know, like open the windows, let the air come in, enjoy, it's a real set the mood type of vibe for that
Oh yeah. That's the one you just sitting in your room, you just in your feels, and you just
Yep.
listen to it. You just listen, and you let it take
You
you
just
where you
listen
want to
to it.
go.
Exactly, exactly. Well, to cap it up of our conversation today, I mean, Isley Brothers versus Earth, Wind, and Fire. Anybody who didn't see that one should go back and look at it. Is, I mean, for me, one of the best verses that I've ever seen. Production, music, the whole nine yards. They sang, they danced, they had outfits, they had a good time.
Wardrobe
Even though
changes.
Steve Harvey taught wardrobe changes, Steve Harvey did a good job. I really don't have complaints, to be honest, because I would have been just as giddy and just the way he was. So, it was
Oh yeah.
fantastic, and I appreciate you joining me to have a conversation about it afterwards. For our
Thank you for
listeners, because
having
this will
me.
go, of course, this is going to go on our main page, on our main YouTube channel at the Realness Radio Podcast. Is there a place that people could find you at that you would like to direct them towards? Maybe Instagram, Facebook?
I don't really have an open one, that they can find me at.
Well, hey,
But
maybe they can find you
yeah,
here when you pop in.
yeah,
I'm trying to convince you to
absolutely.
join the show when you get back,
Yes,
and
I
hopefully
think
you
that'd be
will.
great.
Yeah, and
Uh,
that, we can really have this three-way music conversation. So it was great having you with me today, and I appreciate it, buddy. You are the best.
you are amazing. I miss you. Much love. Happy
Much
Easter.
love. Happy Easter, and everybody who's checking this out, happy Easter. Check out everything at the realnessradiopodcast.com, and we out.